He's back, James Creedon. James with Media Watch, good to see you. The main story of the day, Valérie Trierweiler.
Yes.
What's she been doing? And why has it caused such a storm on Twitter?
Stirring it up, to put it mildly. Let's take a look at this headline. Trierweiler Royale, the War of the Roses has been declared.
War of the Roses, very nice, very nice. The rose, of course, being the emblem of the Parti Socialiste here in France.
There you go. And certainly she's been livening up what has been billed as the normal presidency, all back to normal. And now you have the biggest drama soap opera of the year, pretty much.
He doesn't like Mr. Ordinary now, does he? François Hollande.
So to explain what happened, François Hollande gave his support to his ex-partner, Ségolène Royal, who is trying to be elected as an MP in the La Rochelle region. She's hoping to be president of the National Assembly. What happens a couple of days later, today in fact, Valérie Trierweiler, his current partner, supports Ségolène Royal's rival socialist candidate in the La Rochelle area, basically massively throwing the cat amongst the pigeons, upsetting everything in the Socialist Party, who have put their backing behind Ségolène Royal as opposed to this other socialist dissident who actually has more connection with the area. But that's another question.
Okay, so he's the local sort of socialist loose cannon who is standing against Ségolène Royal.
This is it. So it was a big shock, and most people presumed that her account had been hacked because you couldn't in your right mind do something like this, right? So they're calling the big thing now is nicknames.
Okay.
Is she Trollweiler? Is it Desperate Elise Wives? That's one. What about Tritterweiler? That's another. And this is a show on France 2 which I learned about today. It's amazing the things you don't know about in France. Let's play a little scene out of this. This is a legitimate show.
Okay.
And it's called the Fort Boyer, a fort near La Rochelle, actually, where women tend to kind of mud wrestle, and it's part of a big contest. And this obviously is a metaphor for the two ladies in François Hollande's life.
It's good intellectual viewing, isn't it?
Well, a bit of mud wrestling, it's always interesting to look at, right?
Mud wrestling, mud slinging. There we go. It all goes into the same place.
It's all about mud.
As it were.
And I'll just show you a few of the other headlines that we've been seeing today. Valérie Trierweiler, Ségolène Royal, Première Drame de France, as opposed to Première Dame, First Lady.
Nice, isn't it? That's
First
nice.
drama, the biggest drama. Our own Tony Todd on the internet desk came up with this for the France 24 website. Gets tweet slapped.
Tweet slapped. Now, has he got that patented? Tweet slapped.
He should, right?
He should. That's his phrase. Yeah?
It's his phrase, Tony Todd's phrase, and I think it definitely has potential, and it pretty much sums up what happened here, because it was one tweet, one small little message put out on the internet that set off a massive political storm and was very much a slap in the face for Ségolène Royal.
Of course,
and for François Hollande.
I'm going to say, of course, you say tweet slap. It sounds like Hollande, and perhaps even Valérie Trierweiler herself could end up being tweet slapped by her own gaffe.
This is it.
Because what it does,
it
exposes the kind of infighting within the Socialist Party there's been for the past 5 years, which they thought they'd put a cap on for the election.
That's
but
right.
It seems simmering under the surface there are, even at the highest levels within the party.
And what's interesting is Martine Aubry, head of the Socialist Party and an old rival of Ségolène Royal, she has now come out in support of Ségolène Royal. So you had two political rivals who are now kind of palling up against the First Lady. It's messy stuff, guys.
Who said politics was boring? They were wrong.
Hold on. Speaking of
Bring back the mud wrestling.
Speaking of female politicians, what about female politicians for other parties? They've also been getting involved. Nadine Morano, she famously Twitter gaffed, so she was delighted to see somebody else Twitter gaffing. You miss Sarkozy? Well, you're going to miss Carla now too, she said. She's obviously a Sarko fan. She was a minister in Sarkozy's government.
Sure.
So she's saying Carla, despite all the grief she got, was a bit more restrained.
Yeah, you're missing Carla, because at least she had a bit of class and was a singer.
This is it. And of course, none other than Marine Le Pen. She got in on the game as well. She says, Mrs. Trierweiler, sorting out her problems with her partner's ex, who happens to be the president of the Republic, just pathetic. And ça promet. In other words, it's going to be good. There's going to be more.
Stay tuned. This could be interesting.
Right.
Glory be. The old Street Fighter Le Pen having a crack at it as well.
And I think there's just one last tweet on it. Who wouldn't want to be a mouse, or I suppose fly on the wall, you'd say in English, a souris, when Hollande and Trierweiler kind of have their supper this evening.
Yes, indeed. A mouse or indeed a fly on the wall.
Right. Or both.
Okay, you can imagine how this is going to play out over the next few weeks as well.
I think the conversation went something like, why did you tweet that?
What's next up?
All right, just a quick look at two websites. We'll do this Russia, big story today, massive protests on the streets of Moscow. Look at it. Look at this website. This is TV Rain, or Dozhd as it's known in Russia. It's a kind of an opposition or an anti-Putin TV channel. You can't get their website today. Nor can you get the website of Novaya Gazeta, which is a German, or which is a Russian newspaper, also kind of a bit anti-Putin. So clearly somebody somewhere has shut down those websites on a day when the news is not good for Putin.
It's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Pure coincidence.
Pure coincidence. James Creedon.
Thanks.
The little smile says it all. Look at that, you see. James Creedon with
Not
Media Watch.
convinced about this.
Thank you very much indeed. We're always convinced by James, of course. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, short break. Stay with us. We've got more news to come and sport and culture, a whole list of things. You're watching France 24 live from Paris.